Dementia. After 60, what you can do to slow it, prevent it, and stay in control. Dementia is one of the most feared conditions associated with aging. Many people believe it arrives suddenly, like a switch that flips in the brain. But dementia rarely begins that way. It starts quietly, gradually, and often long before a diagnosis is ever made. The truth is, dementia is not a normal part of aging, and more importantly, it's not inevitable. Your brain has the ability to adapt, heal, and protect itself, even after 60. But it needs your support. Just like we take care of our bones, our heart, and our joints, we can also care for the brain. While some causes of dementia are beyond our control, many others are influenced by how we live, what we eat, how we move, and how we think every single day. In this video, you'll learn 20 practical science-supported actions that can help protect your brain against dementia. These strategies aren't complicated. They're based on daily routines, food, movement, emotional balance, and social connection. Most of all, they give you back a sense of agency, because your brain deserves your attention just as much as your body. If you've ever worried about losing your memory or independence, or if you've seen someone close to you struggle with dementia, this guide is for you. Let's begin by understanding the early signs and what they're really trying to tell you. Part 1. Recognize the early signs of dementia and respond before it progresses. One of the most powerful ways to address dementia is to act early. The earlier the warning signs are identified, the more opportunities you have to slow progression, support the brain, and improve quality of life. Unfortunately, many early signs are missed or mistaken for simple old age. Here are 5 early indicators of dementia that are often overlooked, and the practical steps you can take if you notice them. 1. Difficulty with familiar tasks. Things you've done for years start to feel confusing. You've always made coffee the same way. You've driven to the store 100 times, but lately, familiar steps are harder to follow, or you forget what comes next. This is not normal aging. When everyday routines begin to feel unfamiliar, it may be an early signal of cognitive disruption. What to do? Create visual and written aids to support your routines. Not as a crutch, but as a bridge. Use labeled drawers, step-by-step lists, or a daily task board with photos or symbols. These tools reduce anxiety and help your brain maintain procedural memory. Practice the same tasks intentionally. Repetition builds resilience in the brain. When you do a task, say the steps out loud. This engages both your motor and verbal memory, creating stronger connections. 2. Word finding becomes a frequent struggle. Conversations feel frustrating. You know what you want to say, but you can't find the word. Or you start a sentence and lose your train of thought midway through. This can be deeply frustrating and a common early sign of dementia-related language changes. What to do? Strengthen language centers through daily vocal exercises. Read aloud for 10 minutes a day. Focus on clear pronunciation and expression. Reciting poetry or storytelling from memory can be even more powerful. Play word games, do crossword puzzles, or try naming 10 objects in a room as fast as you can. These verbal exercises increase fluency and help protect against language loss. 3. Confusion about time and place. The day feels disorganized or distorted. You wake up and feel unsure of what day it is. You forget where you are or why you entered a room. Occasional disorientation is normal, but if it happens regularly and creates distress, it should be taken seriously. What to do? Establish consistent daily rhythms. Use a visible calendar and a large face clock in key locations. Create routines that begin and end at the same time each day. Your brain anchors to patterns. Avoid overstimulating environments. Dim lighting, noise, or clutter can increase confusion. Keep your living space well organized and gently lit, and try to limit background noise. 4. Changes in judgment or decision-making. The brain's filter weakens. You might wear clothing that doesn't match the weather, give away money impulsively, or forget how much food to cook. These shifts in reasoning and judgment often appear early in dementia, but are dismissed as quirks. What to do? Create structured choice systems. For example, plan your wardrobe in advance and label outfits by season or weather. Use checklists for finances, grocery shopping, or meal preparation. Discuss important decisions with a trusted family member. Collaboration helps the brain relearn decision processes, and shared thinking reduces mistakes. 5. Withdrawal from hobbies, friends, or conversations. Social energy fades. People with early dementia often start to pull away from others. Not because they don't care, but because the mental effort of conversation becomes harder. It feels easier to be alone. But isolation accelerates cognitive decline. What to do? Reintroduce social activity gradually and in low-pressure ways. Invite a friend over for tea instead of going to a noisy restaurant. Join a small book group or walking club. Speak openly about your experience with someone you trust. Expressing how you feel reduces internal stress and helps you stay connected to others who care. Part 2. Strengthen your mind. Every day, habits that slow dementia. Naturally, while medical treatments for dementia remain limited, lifestyle-based prevention is becoming one of the most powerful tools we have. The brain responds positively to stimulation, variety, rhythm, and rest. This is especially true after 60, when the brain's resilience depends heavily on the habits we repeat daily. Every choice you make, what time you wake up, how you move, how you speak, and how you challenge yourself, can either slow down cognitive decline or silently contribute to it. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. These 5 everyday habits are simple, sustainable, and deeply effective for strengthening brain function and resisting dementia. 1. Establish a stable daily routine. Predictability helps protect the brain's internal rhythm. People often overlook the power of routine, but the aging brain thrives on structure. Dementia disrupts the brain's internal clock, leading to disorientation, insomnia, and confusion. A predictable routine provides grounding. It acts like a mental anchor. What to do? Create a fixed wake-up and bedtime. Eat meals at consistent times. Schedule your most mentally demanding tasks for the same time each day, ideally mid-morning, when cognitive energy is highest. Keep a visible daily schedule. Use a whiteboard or printed planner that outlines the day's basic structure. Review it aloud each morning to reinforce it verbally and visually. Over time, your brain begins to rely on this structure to stay oriented. 2. Walk daily. Consistent movement improves memory and cognitive processing speed. Walking may seem too simple to matter, but it's one of the most powerful brain-protective activities available. Regular, moderate-intensity walking improves blood flow to the brain, reduces inflammation, stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, and strengthens areas related to memory and decision-making. What to do? Aim for 30 minutes of walking per day, broken into 10 or 15-minute segments if needed. Choose routes that are safe, quiet, and have some variation to gently challenge spatial awareness. Enhance the brain benefit by adding light mental tasks while walking. Recall a list, describe your surroundings aloud, or name things that start with a chosen letter. This dual tasking trains memory and executive function simultaneously. 3. Train your memory with simple daily challenges. Active recall builds resilience. Your memory is like a muscle. Use it or lose it. People experiencing early cognitive changes often avoid memory tasks out of frustration, but that avoidance weakens the very circuits that need exercise. Instead, the key is to engage memory gently but consistently, without pressure. What to do? Each morning, spend 5 to 10 minutes practicing active recall. For example, try to list what you did yesterday, who you spoke to, what you ate, or what you read. Do it out loud or write it down. You can also use memory prompts. Keep a memory box with photos, old objects, or postcards that spark storytelling. Engage with one item each day and talk about the memory associated with it. Memory training doesn't have to be abstract. It works best when it's personal. 4. Use your hands. Fine motor activity stimulates memory-related brain regions. Your hands are directly connected to the sensory and motor regions of your brain. When you engage in tasks that require precision, coordination, or creativity, you activate neural networks tied to attention, memory, and problem-solving. This kind of stimulation is especially valuable for aging brains. What to do? Set aside time each day for hand-based activities. Knitting, drawing, gardening, folding laundry, cooking from scratch, or woodworking. For added cognitive benefit, try tasks that include sequencing or pattern recognition, like assembling puzzles, playing with building blocks, or organizing items by size or color. Even flipping through physical photo albums and commenting on the images stimulates multiple regions of the brain. 5. Speak aloud regularly. Verbal activity activates the brain more deeply than silent thought. One of the lesser-known brain boosters is talking out loud. Verbal expression activates language centers, memory circuits, auditory processing, emotional tone, and more. It's especially important for older adults who live alone, where long periods of silence can reduce brain activity and increase disconnection. What to do? Create daily opportunities for speech. Call a family member or friend. Join a discussion group, reading circle, or faith community. If you're alone, try voice journaling, recording your thoughts on a device. Then listen back later to reinforce memory. Practice storytelling, even if only to yourself. Choose one memory a day and describe it aloud. Where you were, who was there, how it felt. The act of forming full sentences and expressing emotion strengthens both communication and recall. Each of these daily habits may seem simple, but when practiced consistently, they act as a defense system for your brain. They reduce inflammation, increase neural connections, and promote emotional balance, all of which are vital for resisting the progression of dementia. If you're already experiencing cognitive changes, it's never too late to begin. And if you're not, these habits may be your strongest protection. Which of these brain-supporting routines will you try today? Let us know in the comments. And if this video is helping you stay ahead of dementia, like the video, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss what's next for your brain and your future. Part 3. Feed your brain right. Nutritional strategies to slow dementia. There's a growing body of research showing that what we eat has a direct impact on how our brain functions, especially as we age. Poor nutrition can increase inflammation, disrupt blood sugar regulation, and accelerate cognitive decline. In contrast, brain-supportive nutrition provides essential building blocks for memory, communication between neurons, and brain repair. The food you choose every day is one of the most powerful tools you have for protecting your mind. These 5 science-backed strategies focus on real, accessible foods, not trends or expensive supplements, and are designed to fit easily into everyday life. 1. Follow a Mediterranean-style eating pattern, the most studied anti-dementia diet. Numerous long-term studies have shown that the Mediterranean diet significantly lowers the risk of developing Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. This way of eating emphasizes plant-based foods, healthy fats, moderate protein, and natural sources of antioxidants. What to do? Center your meals around vegetables, leafy greens, legumes, whole grains, olive oil, and fatty fish. Limit red meat, processed foods, refined carbohydrates, and added sugars. Start small. Switch from butter to olive oil, add a salad to lunch and dinner, and eat fish, like salmon or sardines, twice a week. Use herbs and spices, such as rosemary, turmeric, garlic, and oregano, to flavor food. They contain compounds that protect the brain from inflammation and oxidative damage. 2. Prioritize foods rich in polyphenols, compounds that protect neurons from damage. Polyphenols are powerful plant-based compounds found in fruits, vegetables, teas, and spices. They help fight oxidative stress, one of the driving forces behind neurodegeneration in dementia. What to do? Add a handful of berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, to your breakfast or snack daily. Berries are among the richest sources of brain-protective polyphenols. Drink green tea or herbal teas like hibiscus or chamomile regularly. Replace sugary drinks or extra coffee with 1 or 2 cups per day. Incorporate dark chocolate, at least 70% cocoa, in small amounts, just 1 to 2 squares a day, for both brain and mood support. 3. Support healthy blood flow to the brain by eating nitrate-rich vegetables and omega-3 fats. The brain requires a constant flow of oxygen and nutrients to function. Even slight impairments in blood flow can lead to memory issues and cognitive fatigue. Nitrates and healthy fats help dilate blood vessels and support circulation. What to do? Eat more leafy greens such as spinach, arugula, and beetroot. These are high in natural nitrates that improve blood vessel function. Add avocado, walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds to your meals for healthy fats that reduce inflammation and support brain cell membranes. When possible, steam or roast vegetables instead of frying. This preserves nutrients and keeps your meals light and brain-friendly. 4. Stabilize blood sugar levels. Sugar spikes damage brain cells over time. Dementia is sometimes referred to as type 3 diabetes due to its close connection with insulin resistance and poor glucose control. When blood sugar is unstable, the brain's ability to process information and repair itself declines rapidly. What to do? Avoid sugary snacks, white bread, and sweetened drinks. Choose complex carbohydrates with fiber, such as oats, lentils, quinoa, and whole fruits. Always pair carbohydrates with healthy fat or protein. For example, fruit with nut butter, or rice with vegetables and grilled fish. This slows digestion and keeps your blood sugar stable. Pay attention to how food makes you feel mentally, not just physically. If you notice fogginess or fatigue after a meal, consider adjusting portion sizes or ingredients. 5. Stay hydrated and add electrolytes. Even mild dehydration worsens memory. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less accurate. Even a small drop in hydration can lead to confusion, slower processing, and headaches, all of which may be mistaken for cognitive decline. What to do? Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses of water daily. If plain water is unappealing, add a splash of lemon, cucumber slices, or mint to make it more enjoyable. Include water-rich foods like cucumbers, oranges, tomatoes, and soups, especially in warmer months or when physically active. Balance fluids with light natural sources of electrolytes, such as a pinch of sea salt in water or small amounts of coconut water, especially if on diuretics or experiencing frequent urination. Dementia may be complex, but your daily meals don't need to be. By choosing foods that support brain health and avoiding the ones that harm it, you're reinforcing the very systems that keep your memory, clarity, and independence strong. You don't have to make every change overnight. Start with one habit, one food, one better decision, and build from there. Which of these nutrition upgrades are you ready to try? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss another guide to protecting your brain and aging with confidence. Part 4. Train your mind from the inside. Emotional and mental habits that help fight dementia. When we think of dementia, we often focus on memory and logic. But the brain doesn't exist in isolation. It is deeply connected to our emotions, beliefs, relationships, and inner routines. In fact, emotional health is a strong predictor of long-term cognitive function, especially after age 60. Stress, isolation, and mental inactivity don't just make us feel worse. They increase inflammation, disrupt sleep, and shrink critical brain areas. On the other hand, purpose, connection, and reflection can literally strengthen neural pathways. Here are 5 mental and emotional strategies that may help slow the progression of dementia and keep your brain engaged with life. 1. Manage chronic stress. Long-term tension accelerates brain aging. Cortisol, the main stress hormone, can be helpful in short bursts, but when it stays elevated, it damages the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory and learning. People under chronic stress experience faster cognitive decline and higher dementia risk. What to do? Develop a consistent stress reduction ritual. This doesn't need to be complex. It can be 10 minutes of deep breathing, listening to gentle music, guided meditation, or quiet prayer. Practice body awareness techniques like progressive muscle relaxation or grounding. Noticing the feeling of your feet on the floor or air on your skin. Limit your exposure to distressing media, especially in the evening. Protect your mental environment like you would your physical one. 2. Cultivate meaningful social connections. Isolation is a silent cognitive risk. Loneliness increases the risk of dementia by up to 40%, according to several long-term studies. Human brains are wired for connection. Regular conversation, shared stories, and emotional presence all stimulate brain activity in powerful ways. What to do? Make social interaction a non-negotiable part of your week. Call a friend or family member, join a group, in person or online, or volunteer in your community. Don't wait for others to reach out. Take the initiative. Even a 10-minute conversation can activate language, memory, and emotional centers in your brain. If mobility or social anxiety is a barrier, start with one connection. One person you trust. One shared interest. Small contact is better than none. 3. Reflect daily. Unprocessed emotion creates mental fog. Avoiding your feelings doesn't make them go away. Instead, they often show up as fatigue, confusion, irritability, or even forgetfulness. Reflection helps clear mental space and keeps emotional circuits functioning well. What to do? At the end of each day, spend 5 to 10 minutes reviewing your inner experience. Ask yourself, what stood out to me today? How did I feel during that moment? What do I want to remember about this day? You can write this in a notebook, speak it aloud to yourself, or use a voice recording app. This habit helps the brain consolidate memory and emotional clarity, reducing cognitive load over time. 4. Keep a curiosity mindset, Novelty and learning fuel brain plasticity. Curiosity is often the first thing to fade when dementia sets in, but it's also one of the best tools for preventing further decline. The brain forms new neural pathways when it's challenged, surprised, or engaged by something unfamiliar. Even small things. What to do? Every week, choose one thing you don't yet know and explore it. Read a short article, watch a documentary, or try a new recipe. It doesn't have to be useful, just interesting. Keep a curiosity list. Whenever a question pops into your mind, write it down. Why do leaves turn red? What's the history of the fork? Then look it up later. This turns your mind into a question-seeking engine, which keeps thinking active. Take joy in learning without pressure. There's no test, only discovery. 5. Speak about dementia with strength, not fear or shame. Many people facing cognitive changes begin to withdraw or hide their symptoms out of fear or embarrassment. But silence often leads to more anxiety, less support, and faster decline. Speaking openly, to yourself and others, creates connection and clarity. What to do? Use affirming language about your brain. Instead of saying, "I'm losing it," try, "My brain is asking for help, and I'm listening." This shift in tone changes how you feel and how others respond. Tell trusted friends or family about your experiences. Invite support, not sympathy. Let people know what helps you. Reminders, patience, quiet space. Join or follow dementia-positive communities, online groups, podcasts, or local networks that share tips, stories, and hope. You are not alone, and you don't need to pretend everything is fine to stay strong. Dementia is not just a medical condition. It's a deeply human experience, and it touches every part of how we live, think, and feel. By caring for your emotional health, maintaining curiosity, building meaningful relationships, and speaking your truth, you strengthen the very circuits that keep your brain alive and awake. This video was created to remind you, you still have power, you still have choice, and your brain, even now, is listening. If this helped you see dementia differently, share your thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and click the bell to keep getting real strategies for your mind, your future, and your freedom. See you in the next video.